Now consider the concept that the language of particle physics and astrophysics overlap into the domain of what is called nanoparticle science, or physics. Nanoparticles come in many types and are in part used by medical researchers, pathologists, and other doctors and scientists for use in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases, which includes the study and manipulation of DNA, as well as for data storage and other applications that I will not go into in this particular video. The universe is the equivalent of a synthetic nanoparticle platform from hell, disguised as Mother Nature. The human race is being played for a bunch of chumps by somebody or something. Now let us consider the synthesis and production of nanoparticles as compared to the nuclear synthesis occurring in the stars and galaxies at large, with me making no effort to differentiate between galaxy and star and planet formation and so forth, or between the different subtypes of nanoparticle synthesis methods at this point, which includes microwave and solid and liquid phase synthesis, gas phase synthesis, plasma synthesis, plus a few more. With you might wanting to pause on some of these comparisons that I am not going to linger on because of your short attention spans. I suspect the galaxies, stars, planets, moons, and so forth are formed from combinations of the aforementioned synthesis methods. In fact, I would bet money on this, and we can see the structural resemblances between the formation and evolution of heavenly bodies and the synthesis and production of nanoparticles. The comparisons in this video, up to a point, are more or less the result of what would happen if some nuclear particle physicists and astrophysicists compared notes with engineers, chemists, and other scientists who design and produce man-made synthetic nanoparticles like these here. Yet another amazing similarity is that out of the aforementioned synthetic nanoparticle synthesis and production methods, there are two overarching methods, and these include the bottom-up and top-down methods of nanoparticle synthesis, all of which involve the same chemical and thermal and other processes, more or less. In the exact same way, the formation and evolution of galaxies involves either a bottom-up or top-down process, or a combination thereof, with the similarities in these natural and man-made processes being too coincidental to be a coincidence, I believe. These coincidences extend to the comparison of the so-called Big Bang and the formation of the first stars and galaxies compared to what is called thermal or plasma spray nanoparticle synthesis, which involves flames and heat. Again, we can see how the similarities are amazing as we bear in mind that the Big Bang involved high-temperature plasma thermal spray from hell, just like these examples of thermal plasma spray nanoparticle synthesis. With spiral galaxies like our Milky Way galaxy being a product of this process, as a mirror image of a spiral nanoparticle produced through the thermal plasma spray synthesis method. Where it gets tricky here, and with you paying special attention to the transition of concepts here, is not only that the universe is the equivalent of a nanoparticle synthesis and production platform, But the galaxies produced by the universe could also be called what are called nanoparticle reactors. Which synthesize and produce nanoparticles, are what we call stars, planets, moons, and so forth, that are generated in the spiral arms of galaxies, just like these spiral nanoparticle reactors generate nanoparticles in their spiral arms. There is really no difference. The spiral galaxies, like our Milky Way, look like spiral nanoparticle reactors in addition to doing the exact same thing as nanoparticle reactors, to say the least. Now here is where these comparisons become even more striking. When we compare spiral galaxies like our Milky Way to what are called particle accelerators, including some kind of cyclotron or synchrotron, as well as centrifugal and inertial laboratory on disk and chip devices. With the stars, planets, and so forth moving through the arms of our spiral Milky Way galaxy at many thousands of miles a second, with the galaxy also rotating at many thousands of miles a second, as a mirror image of what would be a cyclotron meets synchrotron, or something similar meets spiral, inertial, and centrifugal laboratory on chip and disk biosensors and separation and other devices like these here, with the particles, cells, and so forth circulating through their ring structures, just like the stars, planets, and so forth circulate and rotate within the spiral arms of our Milky Way galaxy. As you bear in mind that these technologies are used to respectively analyze and manipulate atoms and subatomic, as well as synthetic nanoparticles and blood, DNA, and other matter at the atomic and molecular levels. Also consider that our Milky Way galaxy has 4 major spiral arms, just like 4-armed spiral broadband antennas, as we also considered that the arrangement of the stars and planets and moons and even black holes, as well as comets and asteroids and so forth, are arranged in the 4 major spiral arms of our Milky Way galaxy, just like the antenna elements in this Archimedes spiral antenna, with the elements arranged inside its arms, with the Sun and Earth being our favorite antenna elements inside the antenna component of our Milky Way galaxy. Now here is where the comparisons become even more terrifying, in no particular order, is that the stars, planets, and moons and so forth produced in the arms of spiral galaxies are even structured and layered like spherical inverted antennas, which are also structured like cells, all structured like nanoparticles, and planets and moons, and comets and asteroids and so forth, all structured like nanoparticles, all structured like atoms, and vice versa, with the similarities being obvious. And I would bet money this list of similarities includes the chemical similarities between the technologies you are looking at and the bits and pieces of Mother Nature, and a universe that is some kind of nanoparticle platform disguised as Mother Nature that defies the imagination. This hypothetical synthetic nanoparticle platform we called a universe in the Milky Way galaxy makes us consider the concept of nanoparticles inside nanoparticles inside nanoparticles. which brings us to what are called magnetic nanoparticles of the types with magnetic cores, which brings us specifically to what are called magnetic nanoparticles of the type used for in vivo based medical imaging and diagnostics, as well as for data storage and other applications. Their structural layering and cores are mirror images of the layering and cores of stars and planets and so forth, which all harbor magnetic cores in their interior. And I confess I am cheating in this video with some of these comparisons, but I won't tell you how, as I wrap up this video by saying that I suspect that the magnetic nature of the stars, planets, and moons have something to do with technologies that use the force of magnetism, like these flashing by on your screen. Galaxies like our Milky Way are masterpieces of technology, I suspect, that in turn produce smaller bits and pieces of technology. If there is somebody or something out there that is keeping track of the human race and what we do and what we think, then this is the technology for it. The stars, planets, and moons are technology, including magnetic technology. Even atoms are magnetic, and I suspect they might be serving as tiny magnetic sensors and data storage devices and other technologies. If there is somebody or something out there that is keeping track of the human race and what we do and what we think, then this is the technology for it. And if you like this video, share it and subscribe and hit the notification and thumbs up button and leave questions and comments.